Hey guys, it's Cher, and today we're talking about anxiety. I have to leave my house today, something that I try to avoid as much as possible. I'm kind of kidding, but on a real note, I struggle a lot with social anxiety and anxiety in general, but especially in social situations and like feeling awkward around other people and stuff. So today I was feeling kind of anxious about having to go run some errands later, and I thought, what better therapy session is there than to get on YouTube and talk about my problems? I thought I would go ahead and film me doing my makeup while talking about anxiety and my experiences with anxiety. Hopefully, if anyone watching this deals with anxiety too, then maybe you can relate. Maybe this will help someone else to feel like they're definitely not the only ones dealing with this problem. I know that I and a lot of my friends and family members deal with anxiety too and feeling anxious. I feel like it's a pretty common issue that people deal with, so I thought I would share my experiences and see if anyone else can relate. All while doing my makeup, of course. Because what else do I do on here? This video is a mess. I'm just gonna go ahead and forewarn anyone watching this. It's all over the place. It really is. Let's get into the video. Okay, so let's talk about anxiety. Where do I start with this? First of all, does anyone else experience, this has nothing to do with anxiety by the way, shirts not fitting you correctly because of really long limbs or something? Like the sleeves are always too short because they don't take into account the fact that I need more room. I have long arms, like give me some space, you know? There's actually kind of a funny story about when I got this shirt. I had like this shirt and then I also had a light gray shirt, and I took it up to the register and the cashier woman looks at me and says, "Aw, is this for your two little boys at home?" Even though I don't have kids. Ironically, I was with my fiance Ryan and my friend Zach. I don't know what she thought because I got the shirts from the women's section, but I just kind of laughed and was like, no, the shorts are for me, but I do have two little boys over there. Why am I telling that story? Where was I going with that? Oh, the shirt, yeah. What are we talking about? Anyway, oh, and by the way, this is gonna be a super natural makeup look because I might have social anxiety, but it's just Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with wearing full glam to Walmart if that's what makes you comfortable. I feel like this video has gotten off to a really weird start already. Let me start over. Hi, I'm Cher and I have anxiety. All I mean is that I don't feel like doing a full face of really intricate makeup if I'm just gonna go to the store. So that's what I meant by that. Okay, let's get into this because I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. For foundation, I'm using the foundation I always use. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Click up here if you want to see me review it. I really recommend it for dry skin. I use it every day. Well, not every day because I don't wear makeup every day, but on the days I do wear makeup, I wear this foundation. It's pretty good. To start, I have general anxiety about life. Not really directed towards anything, just super general anxiety about every single thing I encounter in life. However, it does manifest itself specifically through social anxiety, causing me to not want to leave my house. I get anxious over stupid things that shouldn't make someone anxious, such as leaving the house to go somewhere. It's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not because like it really does bother me sometimes. Today I have to leave my house. I need some stuff for a video. And last night I kind of realized like I'm dreading going out to do that today. Like it was already in my mind last night that I was going to have to run some errands today, and somehow it made me nervous already, even though it was not even the day of yet. So that's kind of why I thought that it would be maybe funny, maybe relatable, maybe stupid to talk about anxiety and see if anyone else out there deals with this specific type of anxiety and if it affects them the same way that it does me. So I did not really deal with any type of anxiety until my senior year of high school, a period of my life during which I had to have either my mom or one of my grandparents accompany me to school because I could not deal with going to class by myself. Not normal, by the way, in case you're wondering, like not normal at all. Went to the same really small private school with the same 10 people my whole life. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. So I think that some of that came on because I knew that I was going to be graduating soon and I needed to get my license and start college somewhere and practice being an adult for the first time. Still not good at that, by the way. I'm using the L'Oreal Magic Lumi highlighter for my under eyes. So then I ended up graduating and went to college. Didn't think that I was going to be able to do that, honestly, because of how bad my social anxiety had gotten at that point. Like, I literally had to have my mom walk me into a college class for the first time. Super embarrassing. I'm sure the professor was shocked. But surprisingly, I made it through the whole 2 years of my associate's degree. It might have been 2.5 because I'm not very smart. I'm just kidding, but I did have to take some remedial math classes though, I'm not gonna lie. Looking back, I handled that by literally just forcing myself to be uncomfortable, continue going to class, continuing to see people. Up until that point, I'd gone to a really small school, I had a really small group of friends, I did not know that many people, and college was just kind of a culture shock for me, honestly. One I needed, but definitely a shock. And I know that not everyone can force themselves to go through with something when they are uncomfortable in social situations. I'm not always able to force myself to go through with something. Like, I know that not everyone can handle their anxiety that way and just push through it, because it doesn't work like that for everyone. After I graduated with my associate's degree, I completely transitioned to online schooling, which has a lot of benefits, but if I'm being honest with myself, I was really tired of socially interacting with people every day, and I really just wanted to take myself out of that situation as much as I could. When you do deal with anxiety every day and it affects your life that badly, it makes you want to escape any situations that could cause you to feel anxious. In a way, I feel like that has kind of backfired on me, because now that I go to school completely online, I've kind of isolated myself, which is what I wanted, and that's why I chose online classes in the first place. But at the same time, I knew I needed a break. Like, I need a break, or I'm going to have a breakdown. It didn't affect my schooling. Like, I'm still going to school, it's just in a different format, but at the same time, it's kind of worked to further isolate myself from human interaction, which has not been good for dealing with the problem itself, I guess. Long story short, I am not always the most comfortable in social situations because of this. This is just an Ulta brow tint that I'm using on my brows. Wow, those came out darker than what I thought they would. Wow, that came out so bad. I have never used that brow tint before, but I thought it was just going to be really natural, and it is not. I mean, it works really well, obviously. Just not quite the look I was going for today, but I'm going to roll with it. For my eyes, I'm just going to use some really simple neutral shades from the original Naked palette. Nothing too fancy after those brows. Anyway, basically, long story short, it sucks. And honestly, it doesn't even just happen for me whenever I have to go do something with people that I don't really know. It can also make me feel nervous about hanging out with people I've known forever. And it just shouldn't be like that. Like, logically, you should not be anxious to hang out with your friends who you've known for like 6 years, you know? Like, that's just one example. I feel like a lot of my friends, how do I say this? I feel like sometimes people get offended by me not reaching out first, contacting them first to hang out, because I don't. Like, I genuinely, like, I do not reach out to people first. I wait for them to come to me, because in my mind, I'm just scared that I'm the one being annoying. So I have to wait for them to contact me first. I know, like, see, it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. For all the people out there who are like, I don't understand that. That sounds fake. That sounds made up. We don't understand it either. Trust me, it does not make sense to us either. We just have to deal with it and live with it, you know? But yeah, it definitely extends to people that I already know in my own life. It just sucks because, like I said, sometimes you have friends who are like, why don't you ever want to hang out with me? And that's not it. That's not it. Sometimes it's hard to work yourself up into trying to be normal for these social interactions when you're nervous the whole time, you can't focus, you're too busy wondering what everyone else is thinking about you. For me, I get really scared of sounding stupid and saying dumb things, or like having the people that I'm with regret that they invited me anywhere. That's how deep this goes. And I'm not saying it's like that for everyone, and I'm not saying that some people can't always push through that and just go out and have a fun time or whatever, or just go and get errands done. But for some of us, that's not how it works all the time. And also, I feel like a lot of people think that people with anxiety just use that as an excuse to like get out of responsibilities or obligations or just things that they are responsible for doing. And I know that it can look like that to someone on the outside, but I totally do not use this as a way to get out of doing anything. If anything, I wish I could always push through those feelings or whatever and work through them and ignore them enough to go out and enjoy myself or just get something done by myself. Something I've definitely developed as a coping mechanism that I don't really think is the healthiest way to go about things is always needing someone with me to go out in public. That doesn't make sense. That's silly, but in my head it makes me feel better knowing that I can count on Ryan, like my fiance, or just anyone, like a family member or a friend or whatever, to go with me if I need to go somewhere. Almost like a security blanket type of thing. And I don't know why it makes me feel better about the situation, but it just makes me feel less awkward, and it definitely makes my interactions with others less awkward, I feel like. For instance, I know for a fact that the people that I interact with when I'm out in public must think I'm like a crazy person, which, I mean, I am. But definitely to a further extent, like whether that's cashiers, librarians, where else do I go? Just random people that you come into contact with when you're out and about. I can have a random employee in a store come up to me and ask me something as simple as, "Can I help you with anything?" Internally, I freak out and think that I've done something wrong, and normally give a response along the lines of something similar to this. "Hi, I'm good. How are you? No, I don't need help with anything. Thank you very much." And then I run away. Like, it's literally so awkward for both parties involved here. I'm literally the caricature for a person that gets made fun of because they're incapable of acting normally in public. That's me. For bronzer and blush, I'm just using this like small Ulta kit that I haven't used before. I feel like I'm using a lot of non-name brandy random Ulta products in this video, but oh well. We'll see how it works. It's literally just called matte bronzer. That's the name of it. So yeah, if you're someone who has a friend with a lot of anxiety issues and you guys are out in public and they act super awkward around a sales associate or whatever, not speaking from experience there or anything, just using that as an example, try not to give them too hard of a time about it because it's very difficult to even work yourself up into getting out of the house anyway sometimes. For me today even. But yeah, just try not to be like too hard on them because if they're anything like me, they're already beating themselves up about it anyway. Was this too much bronzer? That's probably not a good question to ask after the fact. Oops. One thing I hate feeling is like stupid or like I don't know what I'm doing. And that's exactly the feeling that awkward public conversations often give me. Why am I not good at this? Like, why can I not function normally in public and have a normal conversation with someone without being really awkward? Like, I don't know how else to describe it besides the awkward part. Yeah, it just makes you think like, God, I need to work on this, you know? Even though it's not something you can help. So I think I'm gonna add some regular brown pencil eyeliner before I move on to highlight. Which is odd for me because I never really do anything with pencil eyeliners. Feeling bold today. Once again, this is just a regular pencil eyeliner from Ulta that I got in some kit a long time ago and just haven't used yet. Just to go back to the whole topic of people not understanding how difficult everyday things can be sometimes for someone who struggles with bad anxiety. I know it's impossible to completely understand it if you don't deal with it at all. Sometimes it's really not as easy as just telling somebody to get over it. It's not a made-up thing. People really do experience it. That's something else I hear, like, oh, everyone in this generation has anxiety. Yeah, I mean, it's true, a lot of us do. But I can speak for myself that I definitely don't make it up for attention or to get out of responsibilities. It's literally just something that affects my everyday life and makes certain things difficult. Oh, if I didn't say this before, this eyeliner shade is called Penny. Oh, and another thing, which this might just be me, my anxiousness intensifies by like 1,000 levels if there's even the slightest possibility that I'm going to run into someone that I know. Yeah, the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm realizing that it's a problem and one I need to work on. For mascara, I'm using the CoverGirl Supersizer Fibers. Wow, that's a mouthful. I guess I'm just hyper aware in public of other people and what they're doing and what they're thinking of me, and if they're looking at me. Like, it never ends. It's just a cycle. It never ends. The thought process while I'm trying to literally just go grocery shopping or something. For highlight, I'm going to use a mix of the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter in the shade Radiant Lights. You can click somewhere up here to watch me test that out. And also the Physicians Formula Butter Highlight in the shade Pearl. Okay, and I think that I'm done with my makeup officially 2 hours later. I guess that's it. I don't really know what this video was. I feel like it was all over the place. Because anxiety does play such a big part in my life sometimes, I did want to eventually mention it in a video. Let me know if any of you relate to any of this that I've just said, or if it just all comes across as really crazy. Wouldn't surprise me. But seriously, I know so many people who openly deal with anxiety on a daily basis, and it sucks, and I relate. I don't know if that makes anyone feel better, but I definitely relate to the struggle and of being socially awkward. It's a great combo. I could definitely go more in depth about all of this in a more serious video, but I don't know, I kind of wanted to approach the topic in a fun way, hopefully, and then it got kind of serious, and then it turned into a therapy session, so I don't really know what this video was. It was all over the place for sure. If you would like to see me make any more videos on this topic, then just let me know, because I don't care to talk about it on camera, because I know it is something that so many people deal with, and sometimes I feel like opening up about your own experiences can help someone else not feel so alone with whatever issue they're dealing with, or at least that's how it is for me. Like I said, it kind of works to normalize it and make it less of a weird issue, because trust me, us socially awkward people don't need any help in the feeling weird department. We already do that to ourselves. You can subscribe to my channel down below if you want. Probably not after watching this video. And if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, you can click the bell notification too. My social media accounts will be linked below in the description box if you want to find me on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!